Check 2, 1, 2.
Kill.
Cheers. Welcome back to Graduated with me, Monica. And today I have two childhood homies here. Well, I guess not childhood, teenhood homies that I met back in, my high school, double-digit days. Junior high.
You guys met in junior high?
Yeah, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Parkview?
Yeah.
When everyone was
Parkview.
just a mall rat hanging out at the terminal?
Yeah, we were hood rats in Edmonton. We're all from Edmonton, if you guys didn't already gather that from my Edmonton experiences.
No, from the hood rat shit, they can tell.
From the hood.
We're not the classiest bunch.
I know, we're not. But you know what? We're drinking 7% beer right now from Port Moody, Yellow Dog. It's called the Hazy IPA. And my mother said the other day, she's like, what's the point of drinking any beer under 5%? And I thought, good point.
Sounds like Barb.
Hell
yeah, Barb.
So I'm sitting here today with Jeremy Powell.
Hello.
Like the street.
Like the street. Yeah.
And then
Sick.
Jordan Andrew. That's one person.
Yeah.
Not two. And so I brought you in today because I was like, we've got a lot to talk about. Because you have an interesting, this podcast is about like your school experiences, how you kind of have, come back from those and whatever. Mm-hmm. But you're kind of interesting because you did a year of engineering when you were like 18, like right out of high school. Remember that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So you did like a year of that, and then I remember you just being like, nah, this is not what I want to do, or like you kind of had
weird.
some side shit going down.
Yeah, it was like a transitional, I don't know. So I don't think any kid knows who he is at that age. And I just got that pressure. Mm-hmm. And then, hey, you're good at math and science. You should be an engineer.
Yeah.
And actually there was a lot of it that I really liked. And then I remember going to a conference where a bunch of the first years meet the fourth years and like the newly graduated. And I hit them with that question of like, hey, so like, do you love what you do? What is it that you do that you like? What were you good at that initially sparked you going into engineering? And do you do that, right? And so many of them would get excited and be like, oh man, I loved chemistry and I loved physics and, doing these kinds of problems. I'd be like, sweet, so like, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, like I manage a construction team out in Fort Mac or like whatever it was. And
Like
there was
a digression
of. There was no correlation between it, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't want to devalue because that's a great degree that you can get, but it was just crazy.
But it's your experience, right?
But it was just crazy how many of them didn't actually go down a path that what initially sparked, and that was kind of eye-opening, and it got me second guessing the whole thing. And then there was, like you said, there was some side shit going on, and so
but it's interesting too because you also digressed so hard from your initial idea of what you wanted to do. So like, bit of background about Jordan, DJ, disc jockey extraordinaire. You've been disc jockeying since 16. Every high school shep party that was in a field, in a basement, in a ratchet ass community hall,
really
abandoned
right
warehouse. That's beginnings,
any
man.
shitty goddamn party, Jordan, you were there, front and center at the shittiest parties ever. In the
They were
rat
the
Edmonton
dopest parties ever, though.
God damn it.
They were good shit, man.
They had
that
character.
was good. Yeah, they did, and they built character. But yeah, you were like, that's kind of the beginnings.
Yeah.
And then, when you're like 18, you're finally legally playing clubs, and you kind of had your...
But even no, hey, I was 17 doing it.
Right? I know.
I had to
I remember
sneak in
that
a
day.
few times.
Good day.
That was good.
Good day.
Allegedly.
Yeah, actually, no. What are you talking about? I was
fully legal. Yeah, in the
did
bricks.
all the paperwork.
I remember that day. So I drove Jordan to his very first gig in the basement of the Bricks, which is the bottom of Starlight Room in Edmonton. It was a snowy day. Someone had to drive the kid.
Yeah, shout out to
me.
Jake Roberts and Nick Degree. And Jordan, Cobra, Commander, and Paul Swanson.
Oh, yeah, the O-Snap
Brendan,
crew.
Tenno, Jerry.
Tenno. What's going on, Tenno?
Austin Specialist. Yeah.
Yeah, all those guys.
God, I was nervous.
So, you were so nervous. I was nervous, too. I thought we were going to get kicked out.
Yeah.
I thought we were actually going to get ID'd. I think I had... Shout out to Jana Vandorp, my fake ID.
Oh, yeah.
Got me. Poor girl.
Vandorp.
Yeah, she was like 27. I was 16, somehow getting passing by. But anyway, so that was like Jordan. That's like your kind of, side thing that you kind of... I guess that's why you didn't go back to school that second year, right? Like, did you kind of...
Yeah, it was kind of like signed with a few labels, started playing around, Edmonton lots, more and more, got into West Coast Canada. And yeah, I was given like lots of reason to think that it was pretty promising, but it was at a really weird time as far as like internet culture, electronic music culture. Like, it still wasn't... if you even just look at like who's writing music in the Billboard Top 40 now and how many of them are DJs and electronic music influenced, it's crazy compared to like 2009, 2010.
For sure.
And so there was definitely a bubble, I felt. And yeah, some people argue that it was for the better, but for a lot of the indier stuff and the smaller stuff, like, no, I would probably say it's a bit more negative. Just the right away with your audience based on what you were making.
So what was your kind of genre? Like,
what do you mean?
Like, you were making...
I guess it was... I guess it always had funk influences, and definitely not rave music.
Yeah.
And I always liked the idea, and actually this probably came from you and a few other people that we went to high school with, where they would be like, hey, my parents love your music, and they would say that, and that got me stoked of like, hey, this is hitting, because I always like the timeless aspect.
Yeah.
Of like...
multi-generational.
Yeah, and just like a tune should be a good tune, and then it, it should stand the test of time.
And you got to be able to dance to it.
That too, for sure. But then also, like, electronic music is like inherently like it has a really low shelf life, right? Like, they make tracks, not really songs. There's a big difference, and so I always wanted to make songs. So, for instance, like I would say Disclosure, Flume, to name some of the bigger artists. Those are artists making songs, right? They're not necessarily DJ friendly. They're not really like your traditional. Right?
Yeah. I see that for sure.
And they're kind of following more of a pop music formula, whereas you name a big bass house DJ or someone where it's like, or trance, like prime music.
Oh yeah, we loved our trance back in our day.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Let's not talk about that though. It's embarrassing.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to Armin van Buren. Still love you. Anyway. Yeah. So okay. So that was kind of like your,
intro.
19. Yeah, like that's kind of where we're coming from, right? And then you recently moved to Vancouver.
Yeah, so then fast forward, still doing the odd gig here and there, and I'm actually pretty spoiled, like, considering, not saying I don't put that much effort into it, but it's like the groundwork that's there is like really good, and I paid a lot of dues there.
Yeah, you did a lot of work.
The artists that I'm associated with, and the guys that have reached out and I have a connection with, are like some serious idols of mine, and like that's just all I would want anyways.
Shout out Scratch Bastard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, that's a good recent one.
Yeah.
But no, I can't remember.
Because while you were DJing too, like, you were also bartending.
Yes.
So you kind of were dabbling in like more of the social and like society aspect of like nightlife and that kind of culture, and you kind of were seeing, I guess, how music and food and culture and all those things kind of connect together, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Was that kind of like an inspiration then, I guess?
Yeah, I think just the creative process in general, right? And I never looked at, like, bartending was more of an option just because I was personable and I wanted to make as much money in the littlest time possible.
Little hours, lots of money.
Yeah, and then like key. A fun atmosphere, right?
Yeah.
But then as soon as my bar manager and just friends started to kind of, hey, this could be a creative thing too, it like instantly sparked. And really similar to like, writing music or whatever it is. It's just like, it's a grind.
Yeah.
I think so many people like romanticize the creative process and they make it seem like it's so like easy and beautiful, like, oh, it just probably comes to you and blah blah blah. It's like, that's so not fucking
you're
true.
Like sitting
like
next to a river.
Yeah,
and the river's like flowing and there's birds chirping in the air.
Totally. And most people you talk to,
flowers,
like, especially some of the best, it's like, hey, what's that like for you? And it's like, dude, it's a grind. Like, and you gotta wonder why some of these people are like mentally unstable, because after years of that, maybe it's detrimental, right? But so I don't know. Creative process, it was really fun and fulfilling. And so that's how those two things came together. And then I guess finding my own opportunity and all that has just led me here. Film school.
So currently you are a student.
Yeah.
You're back to the student life.
Yeah.
25 years old.
Thanks.
You got glasses.
Little cheap shot that the fucking listeners didn't need to know.
You know what? Jordan? Okay, well, I just had Jordy on a couple weeks ago. He's like 31, just graduated. Like, he's fucking killing it, man.
Yeah.
So like, I don't think age has anything to do with it.
No, it
but whose phone's ringing? Jesus Christ. Anyway, Real professional here at Graduated HQ. Anyway, yeah, I don't know what I was talking about.
You're talking about you were throwing your friend under the bus, saying he was 31.
Oh yeah, that
graduated
guy.
out of school.
Oh, Jordy. Yeah, whatever. I love him. But yeah, no, like you're 25, so you're going back to school. But you know what? Honestly, I think it pays to take that kind of break.
Oh,
and, like,
100%.
To actually go to school with purpose
Yeah.
and actually being there to be like, I'm going to absorb every ounce of this and like
Totally
reap the benefits of it. Like, I think that has so much to do with it. Like,
so
that's
on note of that, and
you're
just
craving.
with this podcast, anyone listening, like, I think they would all agree, and that's probably why they're so interested in hearing this podcast. And
I don't think that many people are interested in hearing it.
You're getting 2 to 3 likes.
Yeah.
Post. That's
yeah.
Everyone's got to start somewhere.
Huge deal.
Yeah, but people will understand because there's far too many of us who go to school. But fuck, Jeremy, you went to business school. And
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
What?
Went to Grant MacEwan.
Oh my god.
It's not even weird to think.
That's weird to think.
Right?
BCom, failed accounting like 3 times. This is not for
This
me.
dude's Asian, Monica, right?
Yeah.
So I got out of there real quick.
Oh my god. See,
But same
like
pressure. It's that
totally,
same pressure of like.
It is like being told when to do something, and then how different it is when you're telling yourself to go do something.
100%.
It's like 100% different.
Have you seen? Do you know who John Mulaney is?
Yeah.
Have you seen his new comedy special? No.
His newest one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Newest one?
I
You know, like
think
the
so.
20 minutes he does on post-secondary education?
Okay, no. I need
Okay.
to watch it again.
Yeah, well,
Fine.
I'm just saying,
Jordan,
anyone-
every time I hang out, just side note, every time I hang out with Jordan, he gives me homework of things to go watch that I've been missing out on.
That's so true.
But it is.
Yeah.
It is. It's fine. It's great. I will do it tonight, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. But like, Jesus.
Yeah, it's really good.
So fill us in.
He summarizes that like really well. Just the whole going to school when you're really young.
Yeah.
Kind of graduating
No
with something
idea.
that you were maybe like, oh, why did I do this?
Yeah, and then I know these people, they have, full-on degrees and masters by, 23, but they've never even been to Europe. And it's just like, okay, like, there's,
But I would even
there's
farther
life,
than
you
that,
know?
like, sure, like, they might not have been somewhere, but also I would argue they weren't, like, they discovered themselves in the wrong ways. Like, maybe they unlocked potential in, like, an academic way, but not the personalized way, which is really where everything comes from, right?
Yeah.
So kind of actually going back to even before we started this about sample packs and, like, you can give someone all the tools they want, say, to build a song, but that doesn't mean they can make a song.
For
right?
sure.
You have to actually battle with that process itself. And so when you're talking about entrepreneurship and you're talking about, education and all that, I would just say that schools usually kind of fail to teach that aspect of like the real experience.
Yeah,
what it's like to
agree.
pass you spend a week learning how to write resumes, all that bullshit, which is really just
For real,
stuff
though.
for Google.
Yeah.
But not what happens after
Well,
that.
I think we should talk about that because, before going to school, like, you've done a lot. Like, you've had, a little, not a little DJ career, but you've had these branches of things that you've done, and I think they all kind of boil down to entrepreneurship. So, like, you've also done, and you still are in Cornerstone.
Yeah, owner.
Catering?
Cornerstone Cocktail Club.
Cornerstone Cocktail, the 3 C's.
Yeah. Didn't choose the
it's
name,
not
but I like the name.
It's not spelled with K's, it's spelled with C's.
God, no. Yeah.
Sorry. That was fucked.
No one was thinking that,
No one
Monica.
was-
You fucking just made the
I know.
association.
I know, I'm the worst. Should get fired. But yeah, Cornerstone Cocktail Club. So this is the coolest thing ever. I want to go to one of your events, and every
Yeah.
time my mom would go and she would tell me about it, I'm like, fuck, I'm so jealous.
Totally.
So how did this idea start, I guess? Because I know you were obviously like, this is kind of like you say, when did it start? Like 2 years ago?
I would say a year and a half ago.
Okay, year and a half.
Maybe,
so like,
maybe 2. No, probably a year and a half. So I guess I can't take full credit for having the original idea. It was Stephen and John. So to me, Stephen and John is the owners. And they actually, how did this even get started? So there was 2 really wicked chefs that worked with us, and this one kid, he was like 21, Red Seal certified, like got like $100,000 grant to like just one of those
just
kids
a
who like
go-getter, just
so
dynamo,
much
just
much
committed.
promise.
I love those kids. Like, we all need those kids around who are just like, yeah, I'm 100% committed to like this path
Yeah,
in
they
life.
own it,
I
right?
love that. I have so much respect for that.
Yeah.
I wish I was, I admire that in someone.
Yeah,
but
and so he asked us though. He's like, "Hey, I know you guys kind of dabble with this type of stuff. Would you be interested in doing a cocktail list?" And so we kind of just threw some shit together. really quick and very rookie, right? And the event went off, I guess, and okay, that's great. And then they asked John, though, to kind of be the floor walker, like the manager, because he had experience with that. And he's also a businessman at heart. And
he's got the gift of the gab.
He totally does. And so he very quickly was like, I can do this way better. Like, I might not be able to cook, but I can structure things a lot better. And he came from like DJing and promoter aspect too, of just seeing kind of how back end logistically those things kind of go down.
Yeah.
And so he was like they decided to throw their own event, and it went really well, and it wasn't branded yet. They just threw this is all pop-up events, by the way. So these are like restaurant takeovers.
Yeah.
And so so with that first case, that chef, he threw a private event, he sold tickets to it, it sold out, and then he, like, anyone who came with a ticket got like the 5 or 6 course meal, and then they bought their drinks afterwards, right?
Yeah.
And so it's really cool, and it's like you could spend $80 at any restaurant, spending anywhere from 60 to 120 for like something private, way more curated and special.
Oh, yeah.
Like it, makes
like,
sense.
I love that. Like, that's what
it's a cool niche.
About,
and so anyways, fast forward, it was like, shit, we can do this better, and we did do it better. And then Stephen and John started Cornerstone,
right?
And I was just more like the bartender.
Yeah.
But we quickly were kind of in agreement of like, wait, like, I have some good connections. Like I was so involved. It was kind of like it just made sense to bring me on as an owner as well.
For sure.
And then I also think like the trio aspect, the dynamic is so good because there's a lot of like in our conversations, we all play devil's advocate pretty good.
Yeah.
Whereas with a partnership, it might get kind of stale.
Yeah, totally. I like the 3.
I don't think that answered your question at all. But
whatever. I don't even remember what it was.
Yeah.
I don't know either.
But it was just this company.
This is how Cornerstone came about.
Yeah,
basically.
And so since then we've been doing private events. Every event has sold out. We've done it at Lexus of Edmonton.
That's so killer.
The Grand Villa Casino in the new Rogers Place downtown, at the Common, Solstice. Like we've done it at some really cool spots, and it's been crazy how quickly connections can be made.
Oh, for sure.
Just operating good business. So.
Especially in Edmonton too, I feel like it's kind of not a smaller pond. Well, yeah, it's kind of a smaller pond, and like, these places. It's so easy to just meet people, I find, and like, especially growing up there, you have all these connections, and through playing music and being involved in the music industry,
that
like,
was kind of where
build those connections too.
And that was like, I used a lot of that to my benefit. And for Cornerstone, like our photographer, we met through him doing my press, and he did 2 music videos for me. He did he shot. This is a really good little. But he shot my first
fun fact.
Turntablism music video. That actually went pretty damn viral, and it was shot in Jeremy's fucking mom's Chinese restaurant. Sitting right beside us. Rest in peace, Dumplings Restaurant. Easily the best Szechuan in the city.
Oh, so good.
Actually rated by Avenue Magazine.
So good.
Actually rated by Avenue Magazine. This isn't like just some lame endorsement. And unfortunately,
good.
location. They 4 years.
Yeah, 4 years.
Yeah.
That's really long. It's still
Edmonton,
really good.
it's like, the thing is, it's, an Edmonton location is such an issue because where it was so far south side, and I feel like it was just, like close to your house. Yeah. But like, it was just hard to get to in like the regular, like the walking traffic, right? But man, you never know, they could have a resurgence. You could do a partnership.
The groundwork's there. We actually
Cornerstone X.
No, we did.
Oh.
Yeah, we brought her in for. We were hired by 2 insurance companies, and that was through some other connections that worked out.
And they were like, so legit.
Yeah, and they were like, "Hey, do our Christmas party," and so they gave us a nice big number, and we curated this big kind of mini taste of Edmonton type thing in the Foundry Room behind McEwen.
Yeah. And
we brought in chefs, we brought in music, and different craft cocktails and all that type of stuff. And we did it
cool.
20s themed, and then
I love it.
Jeremy's mom came, provided some of the food, and it was it was probably easily the most consumed. Everyone was talking about it.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
Oh my god, I love
and I think we told her to like cook for like maybe 50 portions because there was maybe 90 people there. So it was kind of like, hey, like you're not going to be the only
like
chef.
Finger foods.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And she cooked for like 300 people.
Holy shit.
We literally like each like staff member went home with like a week's worth of food.
Oh my god.
Easy.
Classic.
It was amazing. It was
Jeremy,
I literally had
how
pounds.
lucky are you, Jer?
I had pounds
Very
of noodles,
lucky.
Monica.
Oh my god.
Actual pounds.
Too lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't live at home anymore, so
So now you're just
Now
starving.
it just, yeah, pretty much.
Starving and alone.
And in fact, actually, it was funny because during that time, I feel like I kind of replaced Jeremy in the family because we were kind of having meetings and stuff like that. She's like, "Oh, well, please just come for dinner or lunch anytime," and it was like the Asian replacement.
Just
to give her some company.
Yeah, that's cute.
But actually, there was a lot of times that we did our meetings there, and she would just feed us, and we no expectation. Like we didn't walk in to get fed. It was like, "Hey, we'll just quickly chat with her and figure it out." She's like, "Oh, please sit down," and just every time we left, guys. It was just like on cloud 9.
Oh,
like full stomach, but like light and like healthy food, like healthy full stomach. And we just fuck it. We just had I don't know.
Yeah,
we just
your
felt
mom's
high.
a true joy.
Oh yeah.
Shout
we
out to
honestly
Jared's
felt
mom.
high. So, anyways.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk a bit about. I don't know. I had some questions here. Let's maybe.
Yeah, I feel like we still haven't answered anything, but you know.
Yeah, you're just talking. This is some really strong beer. I'm getting real.
Hit
me right. I know. Let's talk about your school right now.
Yeah. All right.
So you go to VFS right now.
Yes.
You moved to Vancouver for that reason.
Yes.
And you are in the sound engineering program that I've heard is 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, no, I convinced her it was a 6-year program.
Yeah, we're driving in the car this weekend, and he's like, "Yeah, Monica, it's 5 or 6 years." And
I'm in it for the long run. Yeah.
I was like, "What is this? What?"
Yeah. I
got really discombobulated.
But it's sound design for visual media. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was weird. Like I think talking about producing music and creative outlets and all that. So around the time that Cornerstone was kind of happening. I was still gigging, but not as much, and maybe not getting as fulfilled from it. The music was doing well,
so you're
but I
getting
wasn't
hungry. You're like, I'm kind of looking for something new.
Hungry, maybe, but also just you at this age is like a transitional period
sure.
in general, right? And so I would even say that like who here can confidently say they're totally into the shit that they were into when they were 17? Like, probably not that many people. Like, change a lot, right?
Yeah.
And so. I was kind of looking for the next step, and I'd been doing this for like 8-9 years, learning how to produce. Mm-hmm. I started getting asked by my close friends to do like scoring for their short films.
Yeah.
And I remember doing it,
which are really good. Like, let's plug those.
Dylan Rosiechuck.
Dylan Rosiechuck.
Who he himself is like one of the most talented kids ever. Who's going to be going to film school soon, and
is he?
So he's a teacher now full time.
Yeah.
Did you ever meet him, Jeremy?
I never met Dylan, no.
Oh my God, he's great. I was telling Jordan the other day, I was like, I really wish I had more Dylan in my life, because he's
the shit. He's like
so
wicked
great.
Actor, like wicked writer. He's just kind of everything.
Yeah.
And even his first play.
I bet he was a great dancer too.
He'd done a lot of fringe plays, but his first last year, where he actually like wrote, directed, and starred in, sold out the entire run.
Holy shit!
Got unreal ratings. Like it was.
That's great.
Yeah, and it's like, and he's already like he has it adapted for a movie. Like he has, he goes in lots of indie little competitions and
I love
does
that.
well. Anyways, so he asked me to do the score, and it like kind of lit this little flame, and I noticed I was like pretty solid at it.
Yeah.
Like. And again, I haven't.
You enjoyed it too, probably. You're like,
that
this
was
is
the
a
biggest
new challenge. Like, this is a new medium.
It was a new challenge for sure, and maybe I shouldn't be so quick to say that I was good at it, but it did feel pretty natural. Just
it felt good.
Understanding context and like being such a film guy. So even when you bring up that I reference everything or I give you homework to watch shit.
Yeah.
It's all stored.
Yeah.
So when I watch something and I'm like, this needs music, like that's exactly what my brain's doing. It's like filing through what I've seen and going through it. And then Dylan was like, dude, like this is really good. You're like my guy now. Mm-hmm. And so I did that a few times. And then Jeremy, back again.
What? This guy?
Made a fucking video
Who's that?
Made a video.
Plug it, dude. And
Crucial Throw.
Yeah.
Crucialthrow.com.
Crucialthrow.com.
Yeah.
Check it.
Explain it, because I want to hear how you explain it, because I've been explaining it maybe in the wrong way, but in short.
This is a doozy. So it's a 2D local competitive multiplayer game. And you just meant to chill on the couch, drink some beers, play against your friends, get really competitive.
And what kind of game is it?
It's like a sports game. It's like handball.
Okay. In what kind of setting here?
Are you on a field?
Multiple fields.
Is it like
it's,
FIFA?
It's kind of like a futuristic in a space setting. Multiple planets.
Ooh, so like different planets, different worlds.
Intraplanetary.
There you go.
Wow.
Spaceships, all these different aliens, and it's real exciting.
It's crazy. The characters are amazing, and Jeremy is
Really?
easily.
Can you make me into a
Jeremy
character?
did the majority of the work. the artwork.
Yeah.
And well, like a lot of the character design, especially.
Side note about
which
Jeremy. Sorry, I'm just gonna interrupt you.
Yeah, it's fine. It's your podcast.
Yeah, do whatever I want. But I had art with Jeremy in grade 10.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
And we made these artist trading cards. Do you remember those?
Yeah, I do.
I still have them in my car to this day.
You actually still
Some
have
of
them?
yours.
Mine are still
Yours.
somewhere in my
Your gorilla things. We made
out.
these like so it's like these little. How big is this?
I don't know, like they're like
Playing
4
card
inches.
size,
Yeah,
maybe.
Little playing card size, perfect. That's dumb. Anyway, this big playing card size. And you just like draw little things on them and trade them with kids in the class. And I remember I just wanted all of Jeremy's because his were actually so cool. And like these little like gorilla things and like they had bananas.
No, seriously, Jeremy is
They were
born
so
for
cool.
it.
And you just, everything you did in art class, Jeremy, was just so interesting. And I was like, oh man. You know,
how
there's
fucking hard
some
it is?
people can just
pull it out of their...
capture an idea and a sentence in a picture and like, I don't know how
Put it down. That's the hardest thing ever.
And you put it down and
See,
you
for
make it
me,
alive.
my creative process is
Amazing.
like referencing and like tweaking and then building it into something. But the fact that this kid could sit down and sketch something and it'll be like the craziest character, like, you know, and maybe you're referencing the odd thing here and there too. I think every artist does, but
An amalgamation.
fuck, it's cool. It's so cool. And so
That's
this
so cool. I
game,
love
this game
it.
was great. And then to tie it back, he asked me to do the soundtrack for it.
Oh shit.
So I was very lucky there.
Collab with your besties, guys.
That's the way to do it.
Advice.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
was fun, man. It was like
Super
it was
fun.
same thing. They gave me a really high creative ceiling. I got to just not focus on what my brand of music was, but like,
Right.
oh, this is this kind of level, so you need to write the music for that.
And capturing like mood and emotion as
Totally,
well.
which is like hopefully I think Jeremy's happy with it, but I definitely was aiming for a mood per level. And
Yeah.
No, you
different
nailed it.
I was gonna
feelings, and
ask
so-
you, like, how much do you think, especially now moving into more, like, you know, it's not just sound anymore with people dancing. Like, it's a different medium. It's different visuals as well. Like the visuals are now like people's faces and like emotions and moving objects, and there's a visual attached to your songs and to your music and to your sound.
What do you mean? Sorry.
Like, you know, so you're scoring something, just
Okay.
in general.
Oh,
So
you
attached
mean
to that
like
score,
okay, yeah.
there's faces, there's pictures,
Right, yeah,
there's
yeah.
emotions, there's like how do you I don't want to say like how do you do it, but like what inspires you, or like do you take a lot of, because you're just kind of going into this realm, are you basing things off of things that you've already seen, or how do you gather inspiration for those?
I don't know. It's weird. One, like, that's a hard question. It's
Like,
an
what's
open
your
question.
process? I know.
I think it just a lot of it's just referencing for sure,
Yeah.
and maybe not directly, but just like, you know, if I said space right now and you thought of sound, you'd be pretty surprised. Like some people will kind of come up with the same palette,
Yeah.
right? But where do you get that from? You get that from video games or a movie or a television show
Other
that
things
you've seen, right?
that are connected with that sound.
Yeah,
for
100%.
Sure.
And actually, this is one of the coolest things talking about in sound design school is that, I love my teacher because he brings this up. He's worked on so many different movies and so many different directors, and so they'll talk about, you know, oh, we want the sound to be authentic. We want it to be real, right? And my teacher will argue, you don't, because the reality is real kind of fucking sucks sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be authentic, but that doesn't mean it sounds good. You want it to be cinematically real. You want it to be cinematically good, right?
Right.
And that actually sometimes is quite artificial. So, for instance, like we were talking about Master and Commander
Yeah.
a few days ago, which is like, as far as sound design goes, an absolute like marvel. And so, prime example though, like those cannon shots that you're hearing,
Yeah.
like they're pretty layered and like a lot of different aspects go into like making a cannon sound like that for the movie. So in a theater, you're like immersed in it, right? If you actually go
Surround
out and
sound.
record cannons, you'd be pretty surprised. Like it doesn't sound like that. You get like a
Right.
lot of clap. You get like it almost doesn't sound. It sounds like a shitty gun almost.
Yeah.
It might be fucking loud, but the reality is like, okay, so that was realistic, but it wasn't quite.
It's the real. But I mean, when you're
Yeah.
in a fictional environment, maybe your senses are kind of heightened and your expectations are a little higher. Like each movement, each slap, each
Yeah, everything's
sound
gotta be a
needs to
bit-
be louder. It needs to be
Yeah,
a little bit
100%.
more like sharper.
Yeah, and it's so you'd be so surprised how much sound can influence. Sound that was originally like kind of glamorized, just based on the very beginning of, sound design. And then that's just what our main reference has been for everything.
Yeah.
Right? When you hear a car crash, have you ever actually maybe witnessed a real car crash and remember what the sound's like? No, but what would you pull that from? The fucking millions of cars you've seen crash in a movie.
Crash.
But someone designed that. Someone
For
made
sure.
that, and they made it
Yeah.
to sound good in a movie. So you'd be so surprised. Like, so when you talk about me pulling reference, it's kind of weird because I
That's
pull
just the
reference from
brain.
things that maybe weren't, super accurate. But, the reality is you trust your gut. I think it's important to remember the story. So say
Yeah,
with
for
working with
sure.
Dylan, like, what's the purpose?
Yeah.
Because context is everything.
Yeah.
And so, if the purpose of a certain scene is like very dialogue heavy and very like pivotal moment, you don't want a lot of score. You don't want things that will distract. You want things to complement it, right?
I see.
Whereas maybe something that is more score driven, but there's something intense there, you can have a cue there. You can have something that would give a bit of that emphasis, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen this movie, but the movie Up,
Yeah.
those first 5 minutes of Up, of like the short film of like the young guy who becomes the grandpa,
Yeah.
like that's some of the most powerful, like prime example of like emotional music of like it's just music. There's no sound. All you're seeing is what it is, and the music fully tells the story,
Yeah.
right? Like the music is kind of telling you what to feel, and it's so
Would you say that's goals, Jordan?
what?
Is that goals?
Goals? Yeah, 100%.
Do you want to work in more movies, or do you want to do more like video games? Or
I
do you
don't
not
know
give,
yet.
really give a
I
shit?
don't know
You're just
yet.
kind of like,
I think as long as like there's a good conversation
yeah.
and that like I get some creative freedom, I can't
Right.
see preference. But
Right.
I definitely love movies more, so maybe that's it.
So do you think that like playing gigs and producing music and like seeing people's reactions to your music, do you think that's influenced kind of you wanting to do more visual aspects as well? Like not you
Yeah.
doing the visual, but pairing your music more with visual aspects, or
I would say it definitely helped.
right.
Like actually like playing music in tons of different contexts, everything like fucking dance hall nights with
Yeah.
Moombahton nights with Nick, drum and bass
Moombahton.
stuff. Like you
Yeah.
see really like how music can influence people.
Oh, for sure.
That definitely helped, but I don't know. I don't know if that was like a direct influencer into
Yeah.
it. I
Alright.
think in the end, just creatively,
Just
it
throwing
was
it out there.
It was a cool step. It was just like
Yeah.
another challenge.
Cool times,
and then
cool times.
I've always loved movies, so
Yeah.
yeah.
To kind of switch it back to the social experience, I was thinking about this today. We were talking this weekend about just how technology has changed so much. Everything is adapting, except for like our human bodies are kind of the one thing that really isn't getting more and more technologically advanced. And I was wondering, like, the social experience, so like showing up to a bar and having a cocktail, like that's been the same for the past 100 years or whatever. Like drink mixes have gotten different, and like how you shake something has gotten different, of course, but like just the general experience like is the same. Like can you imagine, do you think that will ever change?
I hope not.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking about this. I'm like, in
I think
the future and like with technology, do you think that
I think maybe the
it'll ever get outdated?
I don't know. Like I'm sure more social activities will come from apps,
Yeah.
and like maybe like that, it'll bring people together. But I would.
I've been watching a
hope-
lot of Black Mirror, so like
Yeah.
my mind is fucked. So I think about these things now, but anyway.
But I would just hope that like with food culture, music culture, things like that, it all comes back to community. Like that's really like
Yeah.
the best part about it. That's why they say it's the languages of the universe, right? Like these are the things that everyone can connect on, and so
agree.
why would you want technology to kind of wreck that experience? Maybe you'll get somewhere, maybe you'll enjoy a cocktail with someone in a different way based on technology, but I think in the end, like it's probably about the social aspect.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's
Yeah.
but it's different for everyone, I guess. But
Random.
that's a
Just
good
thoughts.
yeah.
Thoughts. Because I think with Cornerstone, I'm like, how, because it's, it's like people show up, they eat, they drink, they enjoy the atmosphere or whatever. But
And
I'm
live
like,
music for sure, yeah.
yeah, of course. Like live music, you can't get anything better.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just thinking, I'm like, how would that adapt and evolve with technology? But maybe it's like getting to
interesting.
the event, but it's not at the event, like
That's a good
kind
question.
of I don't know.
It's like, yeah, technology is the opposite of hospitality.
100%.
So
yeah.
actually, yeah, there's your answer right there.
Yeah.
Is that it kind of falls under the hospitality industry for Cornerstone, and we all take pride in being really professional at that too. And so, you know, we offer, like, our events are great. They're eccentric, and you're getting something you can't, I would confidently say you can't find it in Edmonton.
Yeah.
Right? You just don't have people doing it.
Yeah.
And not because they can't, but
Yeah, of
because their
course.
focus is somewhere else.
It's just
and
not.
we've just,
People aren't. No one else is doing that right now. I think it's important to share a story like yours because, you know, you bring so much to the table and you've done a lot, and it isn't directly connected to like a certain school or an event or an institution. You've kind of created your own institutions
Right, okay.
through you just acting and you doing and you following kind of your gut and your curiosities, and then now it's actually turned you into turned you to a place that will fuel one of your curiosities rather than it being
hell yeah,
the source of your curiosity. You know what I mean? Like you're following your own kind of
actually
path.
That's a cool way to put it, I guess.
Yeah, so I think that's
Yeah.
super important, and like there's so much that can be learned from that, especially in learning that, you know, not everything has to do with going to school, but it's a great thing when you want to get challenged.
Yeah, and I think that it comes from a selfish place where it's like I kind of want to be my own boss. Wanted to have control over my own schedule.
Yeah.
Things like that. So I feel like everything I'm doing is to kind of build this idea of running things
Autonomy.
my way, and just, you know,
Yeah.
my way is in scheduling and just
Yeah.
being able to do my life how I want to do it. I don't really like the idea of too much structure, like 9 to 5.
I mean, who likes being told what to do?
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of, you know,
Not me.
Well, especially when you're the smartest person, right? And you're
Smartest
better
person
than
in the
everyone
fucking
else.
world.
So.
You just don't want to be told what to do at all. Yeah, of course not.
But I don't know. So it's a weird.
I like it,
weird
but
way
I
to
mean,
put
you
it,
have that goal. You know that's what you want, and you're fucking getting
Yeah,
there.
yeah. At least that's what I want
I
right
like
now.
it.
But in the end, like, you know.
Yeah, I like it. Cool. Anyways, anything else you want to add before we go into the fire round of questions?
Are you serious? There's an actual.
There's a
fire
round.
I'm gonna have to write
Anything
a jingle
else?
for you for the fire section.
I know,
'cause
you
can't
do.
be saying.
Oh, yeah, by
fire
the
like
way,
that.
Jordan,
That's fucking doesn't
the
make it sound fire at all.
I know, it sounds so bad. My voice is cracking. I was like trying to warm up my voice on the way over here, and I was like, it's just
In your car?
stupid. Yeah. I was singing Backstreet Boys, and it was really bad.
Yeah.
But anyways, Jordan actually wrote and produced the jingle for this podcast, so I should probably mention that at some point.
I don't need the name drop there.
Whatever. If you hated it,
I was
this is
happy
the
to do
guy
it.
to talk to.
I need
Comment
to,
below.
Yeah. That's 1.0. We'll get it up to 3.0. Again,
Yeah.
you get it up to 10 plays, Monica.
Yeah,
I'll
we'll get 10 plays.
I'll get you the
Oh
3.0.
my God. Are you ready for the fire round?
Sure, let's do it.
Serious question.
So obviously I have to answer these as fast as I can.
No, you can just do whatever you want.
Okay.
I still don't really care. They're just kind of actual questions rather
Okay.
than rambling about nothing.
All right, let me get some beer
For an
here.
hour. Yeah, get the beer. Yeah, chug that shit. I drank mine. This went straight to my head. Yo, anyone listening, get Yellow Dog High Five. Hazy IPA. It is great. You only need one.
Future sponsor.
Okay, do you feel like you have accomplished anything?
Are you serious? This is the fire round and you asked an open-ended question like that? So what do you think the purpose of life is? Like, fucking no one can answer that.
It's a
Yes,
yes or
I
no
have
question.
accomplished things.
Good for you.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay, beach vacay or city vacay? New York or LA? Kind of the
City.
city. Yeah, I knew you would say that. If you could give $1,057 to a cause, which cause would it be? You're not
Homelessness.
You're not a politician.
I think no one should be homeless.
Yeah,
I
that
think there's
sucks.
definitely some people out there who probably, you know, made some bad moves and they're there for good reason, maybe in a way. But in the end, I think everyone deserves another shot. But
Yeah.
actually, what was really cool is I'm going to plug Cornerstone. We just did an event at Lexus of Edmonton, and when we had a few meetings with them, they were really cool about they wanted a non-for-profit presence there.
Cool.
And we had never
I like
done that
that.
before. Like,
Yeah.
our events are really small and, like,
Yeah.
you know, private, and it just never made sense. But we were like, 100%, if you want to help us with that. So
Yeah.
they recommended the Nina Haggerty Center for the Arts.
Cool.
And it's a foundation that's pretty much supplies work for people with disabilities to become
Yeah.
professional artists.
Excellent.
And so my partners actually went out to the facility and did the walkthrough, and like I guess it's just this massive creative space
that's cool.
for people with disabilities to like go express themselves, right?
Yeah.
And then the art gets sold, and 100% of those proceeds go to them, right? It's little like and
There's
so
some really
they can
great
make
causes out there.
Yeah, so they can make like a side living, and
Yeah.
it was that I thought was really cool, like kind
Yeah.
of supporting a community in that.
What's the best show on Netflix?
Arrested Development.
Oh,
Seasons 1 to 3.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
It's still
you,
to this
yes.
day, it's the greatest.
What's a song in your head right now?
It's called what's it called? Goldilocks Enigma or Goldie by
fuck is
Grammatic and
that?
Anomaly. It's been
Oh,
in my head.
Grammatic
Oh, and then
Anomaly.
the For Sale interlude by Kendrick, because we were
Oh,
listening
yeah.
to the album on the way to
Pimp a
Kelowna.
Butterfly.
Yeah, we were going through that again.
It was so
and,
good.
I forgot how fucking amazing.
That was a cinematic moment.
I forgot how good that interlude is.
Yeah.
So that's been in my head the last couple days.
Love it.
Yeah.
What are the favorite shoes you own?
What?
Yeah. You're not a shoe guy, are you?
I guess I've been wearing like the low cut Vans since like I
Okay.
was 14, 15. I just kind of
Yeah.
every time I wreck a pair, I buy a pair. Like it's a staple.
Okay. Staple shoe, Jordan Andrew.
Yeah, Vans are always great.
Vans, low cut black Vans. They're black, right?
Hey, you can switch it up.
Yeah.
Sometimes you go gray. If
Actually,
you're feeling
no.
like you want to do gray. White
No,
and
you're
white and
low cut
black,
black
classic.
Van guy. I think that's all I've
I
ever
don't think I've ever
seen.
seen you wear anything but black Vans.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
So
I'm
anyway,
wearing.
that's Jordan Andrew.
Yeah.
Send him some black Vans. Do you have any random talents? Like just random things that you're good at? Like
You
me?
can punch really hard.
That's actually pretty true.
Yeah, you know what?
apparently
I
could
remember
fucking
hearing
hit
that. I think, didn't you punch someone in the arm and they were fucked up for like a while?
It was Justin. He
Yeah.
he was winded. He actually had to like sit down. Oh man, it was such a funny. I don't even know how we were just playing shot for shot, and Danny, who's like a professional hockey player,
Yeah.
was playing Justin, and Danny literally laughed when I was like, "Yo, do you want to play?" He's like, "Nah."
Yeah.
I was like, "Fuck you!" Like, let's play.
Yeah.
And I beat him in one punch. He's like,
Hell
"Holy!"
yeah.
And then yeah,
Because
it just
Jordan's
kind
a winner.
it just became this like I would still get my ass dropped in a fight, but my long arms
Your
and big
one
hands.
punch will just.
Yeah, I
You'll
can
one
huck my
punch a
shoulder
mofo.
good. So yeah,
love it.
that's actually so funny.
What's the last picture of on your phone?
Oh fuck! Okay, let's look at this.
Oh, is it a meme?
It's a meme. Yeah.
I love memes. Tell us.
Should I try to describe it? Okay,
Describe
so
the meme.
it's
Just show me first.
Should I just show you guys?
When I finish arguing, and I hear the person.
It's pretty good, right?
When I finish arguing and I hear the person mumbling.
And it's like it's a semi truck trying to do like the sharpest U-turn ever and like taking out every car on the highway. I think I was gonna send it to someone and I forgot. So now
That's funny.
it's archived.
Cool. If you could score any movie, what would it be?
John Wick.
No.
What?
What?
Existing
What'd you say?
movie? He said John Wick. Why do you like John Wick? Explain.
Because it's just so cool. They
It is cool, but
basically-
I want to hear the Jeremy why
Yeah.
Jeremy.
I think they set
Tell me
the
why, Jeremy.
standard. They set the bar for action movies so high. Like, I feel like action movies have been the same for like quite a while. You know, it's just like eye candy, but then they really like stepped it above and beyond. They know exactly what they are. You know, the plot is nothing crazy, but they really focused on what makes action movies great, and that's good action.
Yeah.
Like just well thought out choreography, like just really cool.
Accuracy with like
Accuracy.
the way the weapons they
Yeah,
use.
and
Like
actually like
it's
reloading, like when a guy shoots 400 gun bullets out of his
That
pistol,
pisses me
and they
off
never
when
reload
people
once.
don't
It's like, come on,
reload.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also
Especially with a
just-
handgun.
Yeah.
I'm counting to 6, man.
And the universe
Every
that they've
fucking
created
time. And if
is
you
so
don't
cool.
reload,
Yeah,
I'm
that's actually
pissed.
true. That was something I took for granted, but like
What did you say?
Just the universe that they've created is just so cool. I think just
cool.
like this underground society of hitmen and assassins.
yeah,
But it's
because
all, like-
I swear to God, that shit's real.
Oh, probably.
Like they're
Yeah.
absolutely like a network. They would just have to be.
Oh, I'm on the edge of
How do you
my
get
seat.
business?
Yeah.
Like, there's no way people are calling you that often to kill people that you can make a living unless it's really like that lucrative. So it's got to be like a little association where you go rate your hitmen and you choose which
Yelp.
one's best.
The death yelp.
But any movie,
Oh, yeah, you never answered the question. I forgot. I was about to move on.
but some of my favorite movies would be like Snatch by Guy Ritchie.
Which movies do you wish you could take credit for the score of it?
Oh, okay. I really liked Hans Zimmer and what he did with Sherlock Holmes.
Cool.
Actually, also by Guy Ritchie.
Wow.
Sherlock Holmes 1 and 2. Watching some of the documentaries on that, him going to like the gypsy lands and recording crazy like gypsies playing music, and which actually got like a lot of shit. Mm-hmm. People were kind of saying it. I guess it was just racially insensitive, which like whatever, like fucking spare me, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that I don't know. I thought it was so good. Such a good like pulse to it.
Okay, final question. What if you could give yourself one piece of advice when you're, say, 16-year-old George?
That's a big one. Yeah, maybe invest in some weed or something.
Yeah, invest in some weed and maybe Bitcoin for like.
Yeah, buy Bitcoin.
I actually had a fucking guy in like my second year of university. So I did like the engineering, then I did 2 like year and a half of business.
Oh, here's some education parts.
And that was yeah. And in that class, and it's funny because like I didn't really trust the kid. He's like, "Yo, there's this Bitcoin shit," and even to this day, if you hear Bitcoin, you're like, "What?" You like can't really wrap your head around it.
Oh,
Imagine hearing it back then,
yeah,
like being like 20.
Yeah.
And
I watched a documentary.
I was like, man, like how much did you put in? He like put in thousands or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I was like, like I don't know, like you're a student, and it's kind of like like
a lot of money.
No, I'm good.
This guy's
man, like so. Well, that's the
gills.
thing is I haven't heard of him in a long time, and I actually wonder if this kid's like.
He's probably in like
who knows?
Asia
Like,
on a
he
yacht.
might have sold when it kind of went up a little bit because who
Right.
could have had the foresight that it was going to go where it went, right?
Yeah, no kidding. Anyways,
advice
give
to
yourself.
my younger self, I guess, would be enjoy the process of everything more than the product of everything. I think that's probably it. I think I still remind myself that of like I'm so quick to just like the product or like the end result of something is like why I do it, when really no, it's the whole how you do it that should be what you should fall in love with. And so I guess like being younger, just like hey, try to apply that to everything, I guess that's like a weird way of just saying being present. I don't know.
Live in the moment. Live, laugh, love.
Yeah. You just wrecked my whole.
I know, I fucking
you just devalued my entire.
No, but that's good advice. No, I'm gonna value that
I
because
guess
that's really good advice. And I feel like especially when you're like 16, you just want to be done. You want to be done high school. You want to be done. You want to be finished. You want to be moved on. You want to be having your own thing. You want to be having a career, making 6 figs. Easy.
Yeah.
And, you don't focus on the actual, the earning of those things and like the value of the present moment and like the fun parts about being young and about being 16 and doing things you can't do when you're 20 something,
Yeah.
So
if you're 16, go egg some cars.
Man, one time I fucked up a
cause some
car.
ruckus in the.
I fucked up some cars.
We were talking about that over the weekend, me and Brett. How like his car got keyed in Kelowna.
Oh yeah.
And his first thought was like, I deserve it. And it's funny because like because we did so much shit. Me, him, Jordan Larkins, we fucked around a lot, right? And like seriously a lot. And I remember I was driving from downtown following, I think it was John actually, and we were going down. It doesn't matter. And anyways, I turned off left. Fuck, who's gonna
turn left?
I turned left, and he went straight. I was like, maybe that was a bad move, but whatever. I'll beat him to the thing. And then I heard this like loud crack, like I almost didn't drive off the road, but like I totally flinched, and it like scared the shit out of me. And I couldn't figure out what it was, and I kept looking at my windshield, like what the fuck just happened? And then I finally kind of do a shoulder check, and my back right window was fully egged, right? And I burst out laughing. I'm like, holy shit. And then I had this moment of like, so that's what that feels like? I have egged so many cars, Monica. I can't even imagine the heart attacks I caused. Like, because it was loud, right? Mm-hmm. And so I was laughing. And then I went to this gas station. And the dude at Domo actually like rejected me for like, I was like, hey man, I'm not getting gas. I'm just going to use like the squeegee. He's like, no gas, no squeegee. And I was like, are you fucking for real? And it was like 1 a.m. We were leaving downtown so he was, he was like, no. And I was like, man, there's no one around here. But then I went to a different gas station and then it became like a real pain in the ass. But I was still chuckling to myself of like, I deserve that. I can't remember why I brought that. Just go do bad
just
shit.
YOLO.
Go
just
build some character for God's sake.
Yeah,
you know?
just go
people are
live
so,
a little.
Maybe with Instagram and all that, people take themselves so seriously.
Well, I mean, surveillance now. Like, there's so much surveillance. We didn't have Instagram. We didn't have Snapchat. Like, no one was watching us doing anything.
Everyone's trying to like show a version of themselves.
Yeah.
Trying to show a version of themselves instead of just like being content with that self.
Yeah, I kind of feel bad for the kids that have.
Yeah.
you know, they don't have that experience of just being completely unsurveilled by anyone.
Yeah, just kind
And
of
you
doing
know,
your
and
shit,
just
right?
the only memory you have of it is like literally in your head. Like it doesn't exist anywhere else.
Yeah,
I think
that's cool.
beautiful.
Yeah, it's a cool way to put it. I wonder how many of those we have, and like what isn't
Oh
actually
yeah, I have some
documented.
funny memories of
Right.
both you
A lot
guys.
of stuff I wish was documented, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Right?
It's like, but then
Just
maybe that's a
kinda-
good thing. And maybe it
Yeah.
would be less
I think it's
special.
more fun to relive the stories because then we can kind of make
true.
it funnier.
Exaggerate a little bit.
Yeah, you over
Make it
embellish a
sound way
little.
cooler than it actually was.
Yeah.
Exactly.
for
Like my
sure.
car actually didn't get egged. It was just a little pebble that hit my.
It's just a really embellished line. I think we're good though. That's the last question I have for you, Jord.
Hell yeah.
And Jer. You know, Jer has made me another ep, but you know, thanks for coming out.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah. Happy
Thank
to
you
have
for the
both
beer.
you guys. Yeah, my pleasure.
The warm beer.
Yeah, they were warm. They kind of sucked, but hey, you know what? 7%. Who's complaining? Other than these guys. So, anyways, thanks guys for coming out. This really means a lot that you guys came out and did this with me. Cool. Let's head her out. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Check 2, 1, 2.